last race, the last chance that we will ever see these drivers go at it on Heat 4. And what a field we have stored for you here tonight at Homestead Miami Speedway as the number 23 of 1, Don't Mess with Texas McCarthy, the number 2 of Hot Rod Rowdy, the number 1 of Young Racing, the number 98 of No Shift, Don't Ever Call Him Pit Pendle, in the 98 will do battle here at Homestead for a 100-lap marathon main event. Hi again, everyone. I am Crusader, my good friend and colleague, Smoke Jr. Smoke, thanks for tuning in with me here, man. I know it's only your second time here with us in the booth, but it's always a pleasure to have you on here, buddy.
Yeah, man, good to be here.
Absolutely, indeed. So tonight, as we said before, we're live here in Homestead, Miami. A little Xfinity Series action. This is our last race we will ever do in Heat 4 for league racing, and it's a bit bittersweet to say because there's so many great memories and great times we've had here. We've had so many great battles, so many great opportunity and chances to see some of the best go at it, and the Xfinity Series just every week just seems to ship in more and more to be the best that it is and the best that it can be. And tonight we're going in for a big one, as we said, it's a full race of 100 laps. The fuel run's going to be 28 laps, stage 1, 22 laps, stage 1, 22, stage 2, 23, and final will be 55 laps in total. This is a 50% length race with the 2 times wear, as we're just waiting to get everything to go live here right now. We're joined into the booth. Currently 6 feet apart, of course. Smoke, I know we're 6 feet apart and all that, but it definitely has been kind of a crazy season, to say the least, in the broadcast booth as much as it's been in the racing booth. You never know what to expect with this series.
Yeah, it definitely gets crazy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, guys, in the chat already, just a little heads up. Serenity RCN has joined us. He's going for Pendle tonight to be in here. Thanks so much, Serenity, for joining us. And yes, indeed, it is a good league to be in. This is the best all around and best, and I would say one of the best commentating booths in the entire field of NASCAR Heat. Maybe that's just me. Mid City's going for McCarthy tonight in the comments section. Thanks so much as well for tuning in, buddy. Thank you again to everyone that tunes in each and every week and comes to watch us race. We appreciate all the support. Well, let's smoke. It's time to go live to the track and live for 12 of the best here at Xfinity's Homestead Miami Speedway. Now, as we said before, folks, we will have the 4 drivers that were in the top 4 be up front. So Pendle will lead it out with McCarthy right beside him in that row. The third spot will go to Young RCN, and Rowdy will also take over for that. And guys, just a little thing here as well. My producers here in the booth, just right behind me, handed me a handed me an envelope about 6 feet apart. They ended up having one of those grabbers. Thank you for doing that for me. This is a special night in a lot of ways. Not only is this our last heat race for Heat 4, but this is also the very last race in NASCAR Heat Series, in our league anyway, for that man right there. No Shift, Don't Ever Call Him Pit Pendle. And you know, I'm just going to say this a little bit here. It's a little bit bittersweet to say, but Pendle, you know, I wish you nothing but the best, and I love watching you race. You're a heck of a competitor out on the track, and one of the toughest guys to beat out there. So, I'm definitely rooting for you to have a good race here tonight. It's been a special time with you. I wish you nothing but the best, and I know everyone here at PTM wishes you nothing but the best. So, tonight, guys, be sure to keep an eye on that number 98 car. He might have something special for all these drivers, as this truly is the last time we will see that man right there, that number 98 machine, running here in the league races. Well, guys, number 23 of 1 McCarthy up there now. She's piled up with Pendle there. Number 2 Rowdy catching up a little bit, getting back on the pace and catching up to these guys. We're going to do one more lap around to get them all squared away. Number 1 of Young Racing will also be right up there in that groove. Looks like a few guys going to pit already, maybe a little bit of last-minute work and last-minute stuff to figure out. So we're going to go ahead and give them a quick breather and quick take, get everyone all situated and settled up. So, but boy, oh boy, it's been an incredible season, Smoke. I mean, I don't know how much you've caught of all this and how much you've seen, but it's definitely been a heck of a season for these guys and a lot of these drivers out there, hasn't it?
yeah, for sure. Sure, you kind of get some fun in that with her.
All right. Well, right now everyone getting all squared away in the pits. We got a camera on there. 5 people tuned in with us here tonight. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate the love and support. I'll go ahead and check your comments real quick as we roll through the rest of the field. Number 61 is Sparkalicious. Man, did he have a heck of a season there. Just missing out on the Xfinity Top 4 Series. But he did have a Top 4 finish in the Truck Series and managed to pull out that one there. So congratulations to him for that. Incredible racing from him all season round. Hopefully next season comes out just as good. Number 39, HD Nightster. Bit of a rookie to the series, but he has been figuring things out. Dad's not number 18. He's been a pretty good driver and a pretty hard racer. Nonetheless, he hasn't really made too big of a noise yet, but don't worry, next season we might see a change in that. Number 10, Hoffy. He's been bad fast no matter where he goes, but he's definitely been pushing it as well. That number 20 of G-Pre. Definitely a tough kid to beat and tough driver on the field. He'll be pushing it more during next season. The Rodfather, a.k.a. Cobbs, that number 89 as well. T-Jangles, that number 51, will also be pitting around with us next season. We can't wait to have him there. And, of course, the ever-fast Paul's the Throttle. This is indeed her last race, folks, as well for the Heat Series. She will not be returning with us next season. So she's going to try and kick it off in one last big run here. She's going to go for the retirement race, but on the green flag, flying high, we got Young RCN trying to get around number 98 of No Shift. Don't ever call him Pit Pendle. Off that restart, looks like McCarthy trying to get back that run she lost earlier as they go into the backstretch. A little bit of loose driving there. Powell's loose off of turn 2. That is such a critical area. You have to be careful when you're running that line. All right, down the front straightaway here. Here comes a little bit of a battle here as they go side by side. It's Young racing at number 1 and the number 23 of Don't Mess with Texas McCarthy. These two going back and forth with one another, back at it and just absolutely hitting it home, trying to get one another out of this race here. They're trying to figure out a best way to get to the top and early. But right now they got to be careful because if they get No Shift Pendle any room, he will maintain it and take it away from you as these guys continue on. With the first few laps of stage 1, these guys already just back and forth with one another. The top 4 are in play as Rowdy now falling back into 4th, but managing to get a pretty decent restart as Paul's the Throttle in her retirement race, ending up also pretty much pushing it up quite a bit there as she's now in 5th. Battle for 4th though with Rowdy. And there we go into turn 3 into 4 smoke. I mean, and you gotta admit, right now these guys just going at it back and forth. It's pretty amazing. Well, as I say that, and Young racing that number 1 getting a little bit loose out of turn 4, almost into puddles there, but both drivers managing to keep it clean. Sorry to interrupt you there, my friend, but man, we just had some big moments there, almost getting into it there. That would have been a terrible start for Young RCN as he's been trying to find a way to get into that top spot this entire race.
Like Sparkalicious.
And Sparkalicious indeed, definitely seems like he's got it all figured out back now. Figured not spinning out anymore, so he will be back in the running there as you get a good glimpse right now on the hood of the 1 Don't Mess with Texas McCarthy currently doing battle with No Shift. Don't ever call him Pit Pendle. The 98 machine going up high. He lost a little traction out of the turn into 2, and it looks like McCarthy's going to make him pay for it right on that rear end bumper of Pendle. McCarthy looking to steal it away. And she's going to do just that out of the turn. Oh, we got a caution.
We got a caution.
Smoke, you were watching the back. What happened there? I see T-Jangles right in front of McCarthy. Looks like he's got some damage. Could you see what was going on back there?
I didn't catch too much of that. I was watching the battle last night. Seeing something coming off the door there. It was a slow ball.
That may have been something indeed there. So. Hey, Smoke, just heads up. Sounds like some folks can't quite hear you in the broadcast booth. Are you able to turn your mic up by chance? I mean, that's what my producers are kind of giving the same thing here. So we do apologize, folks, for the mic errors again. we're still kind of figuring stuff out as we go, even though we've already been through quite a few bit of this season. There's always new things to learn here at PTM, so we'll get you figured out. On the
Is that better?
pretty sure that's a lot better. I'm gonna go see what the people in the booth say here in just a minute. But as we get to that, green flag high in the air, back on the restart here is the number 2. Hot Rod Rowdy, and that number is going to pull that Camaro right up to the front and maintain the lead. But he's got a whole host of battle back in behind him. Now piles the throttle, getting loose out of turn 2 when McCarthy gave her a little bit of a nudge there. And Poffy in that number 10 getting a little bit of a nudge from Pendle. That's Pendle trying to find a way around. But look at McCarthy down low of Pendle out of turn 4. Manages to stick it in there and push forward. She's got a little bit of a run from Piles the Throttle on the number 5 as they do battle side by side for the lead. Look at the difference in gap here, folks. And Piles the Throttle giving that big run off of 98 of Pendle. And here comes Young Racing. 3 wide out of turn 2. Oh, Pendle and Young Racing involved in that one. And Pendle is spinning out here, folks. Oh, that is not something you want to see on this track, and that just happened as it came out of turn 2. That's where you usually can get loose off of, and it looks like we're going to go to caution off that. Holy smokes, man, that got a little crazy and got a little hectic quicker than we knew it. I'm not sure if that was the game caution, so the flagman does have his binoculars. I'm glad he was finally seeing stuff out there.
It was good tight racing right there.
Great tight racing, great battling nonetheless, but unfortunately this came out of turn 3 and everything else just kind of went all over the place. But nonetheless, these guys will get back into the running and back into formation. But again, it is only early, so they may just be getting getting a few bugs out and getting some jitters out of the way. What do you think, man?
Yeah, for sure. A couple more pit stops, everybody be good to go.
Indeed, indeed. And all right, guys, we're going to get back on the restart here. Pile them up side by side. It looks like Pendle's going to get kind of the bad rap of that one, as he looks like he got some damage fixed up on that machine. Green flag high in the air. We're going to finish up stage 1. And in the back, we've got a bit of a run here off the start. Pottle's trying to get out of the way of number 1 of Young Racing and number 2 of Hot Rod Rowdy, not getting quite the start that McCarthy and that number 23 machine got. But all drivers remaining clean side by side for third here, as the battle for third with Rowdy and the number 1 of Young Racing. Young Racing looks like he's got a little bit more of a run off that and takes it 3 wide out of turn 3 into 4. The number 18 of Daz putting it in there with G3 and that number 20 machine. So then G3 actually trying to make a bit of a run here and prove he can hang with the big boys and girls, because right now he is definitely giving it quite the run. But you can't count out no Shift Pendle, as he is now working his way from the outhouse to the White House, moving his way through the field. He's now up into the 7th spot. And now the battle up here is for second, as Piles the Throttle does war with yet again Young Racing, that number 1 machine. I'm not sure how many times I've said, or even any of our other commentators have said this season, Piles the Throttle and the Young Racing and number 1 are doing battle, whether it be for first or last. It doesn't matter. These guys just keep going at it like it's nothing. It's incredible to see these guys go at it. But looks like Young's going to get a bit of a bad turn off of turn 2 there, and that's going to cost him big time, as Pottles has now caught up with the 1 Don't Mess with Texas McCarthy. The battle for the lead will go there, but no Shift, don't ever call him Pit Pendle, are doing war here as they come down the straightaway here. It's Pendle going to try to get that draft goal, trying to make it work off of Young Racing. He's going to bring it back inside, down low, side by side for third. Looks like Pendle's got a better run. We're gonna see how that exit goes. Young Racing's gonna stay with them though. Out of the turn 2, they're gonna do battle yet again. Battle for third here as they go side by side, still connecting with one another.
I think Pottles is just conserving a little bit, biding her time a little bit.
Right back down indeed there. You can see these guys just going back at it one another, and Pottle's just kind of conserving her tires more than likely, and also just trying to find an opening. But the problem is with McCarthy, I can tell you right now, when I raced her last season on this track in the Truck Series, if you didn't get ahead of her quick, she'll find a way to get you. she just has this aura on this track for some reason that she can just run like it's nothing, and she just has this bad fast machine, and I don't know how she does it, but she figures it out and gets it done right. It's scary to think, but it's impressive at the same time.
Definitely.
We get into the back of the field here, a little bit of a battle in the rear here as the number 16 and the 39 going at it here, Sparkalicious and HD Nightster. A little bit of a battle here in the rear, and also T Jangles the 51 kind of getting eyed by those two, as well as Rodfather of number 89. So in the back, and it's not just all in the front that's going on here, folks. A little bit of battling in the back.
I think Puddles had a little slip up a little bit there.
Looks like she did indeed. She did lose a little bit of ground there, and it's going to open the door up for Young Racing at number 1 and the number 98 of No Shift Pendle. Here they come down out of turn 3 into 4. A little bit of a run there for Pendle as he's going to take away that spot from Puddles, and now the caution is out again. It looks like Rodfather involved in that one, as well as Sparkalicious number 61 and T Jangles the 51, because all drivers slowed up badly there and some damage on all 3 of those guys. So looks like we will go to caution once again and get everything all cleared up and cleaned out there. In our comment section, thanks again to Naughty Milk Duds, aka Ashton Hartman, for joining with me here. And yeah, it looks like Rowdy's kind of tight right now, man. He's definitely having some issues, so we'll see how things go though for the later half of this race. Alright guys, back up on the track and ready to go here. We're going to re-rack and restack them here. Stage 1 not quite in the books yet, but off that restart, McCarthy, Pendle, and Puddles and Young Racing will do battle. Rowdy following at 6th there with number 18 of Daz right behind him. Green flag high in the air. Time to put the pedal to the metal one more time for stage 1. We're now in stage 2, excuse me folks. That was the end of stage 1. So 19 laps of stage 2 coming on. Hey, look at this in the back. Whoa, a little bit up front, a little bit in the back as well. Everyone getting a little loose out of that infamous turn 2, and looks like Pendle got a little bit hard off that. He gave Puddles a little bit of a run there, but nonetheless managed to hold out and save it there as they go back down the front straightaway here. Pendle has a bit of a run on McCarthy, maybe trying to get that draft work and steal the inside from her, but that's going to be easier said than done because of McCarthy's ways on this track. She will find a way to keep you from doing anything to pass her, and right now she's doing just that. She holds off everybody in the back. Great driving from Miss McCarthy. Here comes Young Racing, that number 1 machine as well. He will do battle with Puddles for 3rd here as these two just side by side out of turn 4 down the front straightaway here, still giving it everything they've got. The number 1 machine trying to hold off everything he can and trying to find any way to get around it. Whoa! And the number 18 machine of Daz sneaking in between, almost making it 3 wide and getting a little bit in there. Puddles able to save it, but man, Daz had a huge run off that turn 2 and ended up just pushing it a little too hard into those guys. But everyone managing to keep it clean and save it as the 3 up front will do battle. Daz is taken over for 4th, but maybe not in the most traditional of ways, I would say, as he's got Rowdy and that number 2 machine right behind him.
One sideways back there to 89 car. If he gathers up, they keep moving.
The Rodfather has indeed got sideways and has figured out everything there, so he looks like he has maintained his car and got back up on the track. 61 Sparkalich is doing battle with the number 39 and T Jangles in that 51 as these two holding on for their race. But right now up front we go back up and we can see Young Racing and that number 1 machine trying to put that Chevy Camaro over on that Ford Mustang of 98. No shift, don't ever call him Pit Pendle. Pendle just trying to give everything he's got to hold out one another. Ooh, a little bit of bumping there from Pendle. Young Racing getting a little too close into that rear end of his and ended up slamming the door on him just a bit. But that doesn't look like it hurt him too much as he gets that draft back and maintains position. both drivers holding out very nicely here as we're coming down to lap 6 of 19 here in stage 2.
Definitely a lot of good racing back there from second on back. Looks like McCarthy's got that lead in hand pretty well.
Absolutely, indeed. There, yeah. You'd be a lot of people when they come and watch these things. They're like, "Wow, this is why is it these guys are running so clean, not getting into one?" Well, the thing is that these guys are legitimate training and practice for all these tracks and all this stuff, and that's why you get so many great moments like this right here as No Shift Pendle and number 1 of Young Racing battle for second, still side by side. One taking the bottom, one 98 taking the high. You can see just the difference in momentum, though. These guys, wow, what did I say that? No Shift Pendle loose off of turn 2 and caused an accident. He is in big trouble, flipping upside down. Oh, my goodness, folks.
We're still racing.
4 drivers involved in that one. Piles is well involved in it. It looks like HD Nightster and Daz involved in that. So the caution's going to come out to the flagman. Thankfully, he's got the binoculars on, folks. He's going to call that one and say flat out, "Hey, guys, I'm not letting these guys run with all that carnage out there. We need to get them re-racked, restacked, and see how this thing plays out." Now, Smoke, I didn't quite get to ask you earlier, but is there a favorite driver in here that you may be thinking is looking to be the top of the top 4 that you think has the best chance to win this race?
I had a couple in mind earlier, but McCarthy seems to be where I'm sticking right now. I used to drive the 23, so.
If you're going to go with McCarthy, then I guess I will go with the retired boy tonight, 98 at No Shift Pendle. Even though he's having some troubles right now, I'll go for him on that. So green flag high in the air yet again. Let's finish out stage 2 as we got 9 laps remaining in this one. Hot Rod Rowdy Silver in that number 2 machine has now made his way back up into the pack here as number 18 of Daz trying to hold off Young Racing that number 1 machine, catching up as they go down back stretch here. Rowdy Silver's in that number 2 machine trying to get everything he can to put it ahead of the 1 Don't Mess with Texas McCarthy in the 23. These guys just absolutely burning it up out there. I don't know how those tires are feeling, but I can tell you, just judging how these guys are racing, they are giving everything they have just to get around one another. But it doesn't seem like anybody has a preferred line or a better exit in this case, as Pendle now from the outhouse to the White House again, managing to get ahead of at least 8 drivers out of just that first few laps. That's damn sure impressive for him, but not surprising at the same time because we know how good he can race and we know how hard he is of a racer. It's just sad to see him go on after this race because it's been a heck of a ride for him, and same for Piles. It's been a great battle for her and great time for her. She's had a lot of stuff going on, but this is indeed for those 2 drivers. It will be their last race with us in Heat 4 and in the Heat series in general for this league.
We got a battle here for second, and of course we beat the 2 car.
Battle is indeed for second here in the number 2. Hot Rod Rowdy trying to hold off that Young Racing machine, the number 1 of Young Racing, that Chevy Camaro, and these guys going absolutely with one another, holding each other off. As here comes Paul's the throttle in the number 5 machine. She's pushing that baby a little bit. She's really looking to give it everything it's worth to get into that top 3 and the finals, and then the win. She looks to end her season and her Heat career in a big way with a win here. But right now they're all chasing after that 1 McCarthy in the number 23 machine. She is just absolutely flying on this track and not giving an inch, to say the least.
Definitely has a good car.
Does indeed. And the thing is, folks, is that we've kind of talked about it earlier, but the thing is with this track, if you're a little too hard off or too hard on the entry or exit, that can spell disaster, as you've seen earlier. And that's right there, you see with No Shift Pendle, it was a little hard in that middle section. That's the groove section, as we call it. That's where it's really slick and hard to control. You hit it just wrong, and it's going to send you straight down into the bottom or the high line, or send you spinning. And right now, you've seen him get it done a few times. It looks like he's trying to get back that draft and catch everything back for what it's worth, and looks like it's going to hold off just enough. But still, everybody's still chasing after that 23 machine. But Young Racing looks like he's finally closing the gap here, Smoke. Does indeed, and here we go, folks, out of turn 3 into 4. Young trying to get something going there, trying to push it, if you will, and try to end the stage on the first spot, because if he can get the lead into that final stage, you'll get the bottom line. That seems to be the preferred line when it comes to racing on this track. 3 to go remaining in this one here. Young racing that number 1 machine, going to do battle with the number 23 of one Don't Mess with Texas, McCarthy. McCarthy just trying to find any way she can to hold off everybody, but it looks like even she's getting a little bit tight. Here comes that Young racing machine, the number 1. Here he comes flying down high out of turn 4, side by side for the lead. The pilot flying Chevy Camaro number 1 is going to give everything it's got to take over the number 23 of one McCarthy. But Hot Rod and Pottles are right behind him. You can't overshoot and you can't undershoot. And Hot Rod just did that there. Rowdy loose out of turn 2. Pottles will get back into that groove and get into the draft. These two side by side down turn 3 and 4. Still no one giving an inch, but I can guarantee you right now, Pendle is just watching this in awe and hoping that they keep messing up. Looks like McCarthy a little bit loose out of turn 4, goes up in the high line. McCarthy now trying to get back into this. We got 1 to go here of stage 2. Young racing looking to get the better position off the restart, but Young racing a little bit loose and out of turn 2. And McCarthy, whoa, almost bringing it straight down there. 3 wide in the backstretch, and these guys going out of control here. Number 5 of Pottles holding out and managing to get around both drivers. Wow. It looks like she's going to take home the stage 2 victory out of turn 4. It looks like that's going to be indeed a stage 2 victory for her. She will get the better positioning off that, with Young racing finishing 2nd and 3rd going to McCarthy, with Hot Rod Rowdy in 4th and 5th going to Pendle. So I would say from 1st, 3rd, and 5th, that might be the better positioning point to start off that restart. What do you think, Smoke?
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. Be the control car on the restart, be able to get out there and clean air.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. Where the reason why we say, folks, that inside line seems to be the better run. The thing is that when you're starting up, you want to take that inside line as good as you can to get the early run, where the outside line then comes into play after about a lap or so for when the draft comes in, because that'll help you maintain your car and maintain your position. It's just really a matter of staying out of that group section you see right there in the middle, as these guys will go back at it here for the final stage. We'll give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Dirt Track for your mobile Android and iOS devices, and Kersey Chrysler and Jeep out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in with us and helping us out this entire season. Thank you for the sponsor. Appreciate it as we get ready for the last time in Heat 4 we will ever go. Green flag high in the air in final stage series. Pottles will lead it off with Young racing, the number 1 machine, looking to do battle. Can Pottles end her Heat Series career with a victory? Can the one McCarthy end her season and her series finally with the win she's been looking for all year long? Or will Pendle finally get his final swan song out of here as he looks to finally get the win he's been looking for this entire season, to be the champion one more time and to end his Heat Series career on top? Or will Hot Rod Rowdy be the guy that no one expected, the dark horse if you will, and win the championship? These guys will go battle for 50 more laps here. You can see right now in the battle for the positions here, 2nd place right now, a battle there as McCarthy trying to get around Young racing that number 1 machine, Pendle, looking for any opening he can to get around Hot Rod Rowdy in that number 2 machine. Looks like he's going to get it out of there. Pottle's a little bit loose off of out of turn 1 into 2. It got into the middle section there, and that's going to cost her a little bit. She's going to get loose off of that, managing to hold off though nonetheless. And McCarthy and Young racing still trying to find a way around one another. Here they come out of turn 3 into 4. They're going to start piling in a little bit. Look at this, a battle for the lead. Pottles gets loose on the high line. McCarthy has the run on the bottom, and it looks like she's going to get a better drive off that. But Pottles, with the help from Young racing, will get the draft as well to work on the high line. It's almost like Talladega over here, folks. These guys are going to go back and forth one another as Young racing gets into Pottles a little bit. Both drivers managing to hold out, but they almost lost it in that turn there. Almost 3 wide as well out at the back straightaway here. As you can see, 3 wide indeed. 3 wide over here for the second position. Pendle, Pottles, and Rowdy involved in that one as they are still 3 wide out of turn 4. No one giving an inch there. It looks like it indeed, and you can just see the momentum that these guys are carrying through these turns and carrying through those straightaways. It is a huge run to say the least. Just a quick side note though, folks, if you see any of our top 4 drivers get involved in a wreck, they will go to a manual caution if the game does not call for it, because we will not have the top 4 drivers at any point get taken out from this. We will make sure it's a fair, clean battle to the end for for these 4 specifically. But again, if there is also a 3-car pile up, we will call manual there as well. So nonetheless, everybody giving it quite the run, quite the battle. It's been a huge race early on in this final stage. As the 5 guys you see right now, Young Racing number 1, the 98 of no shift, don't ever call me Pit Pendle, Pottles, the number 2 Hot Rod, and number 23 of 1 McCarthy, just going at it with one another early, but they are able to hold off and maintain position here. Look at this now, battle for 4th as Young Racing's going to try to overtake 98 of Pendle, and Pendle now getting pushed up a little bit on the high line. He doesn't want to be there. He's trying to bring it back down low and get it into the groove. He's trying to get a little bit of a run there and not lose it out of turn 2, and it looks like he's going to be successful. But Pendle, you've got some company in the name of Young Racing, that number 1 machine, my friend. This may be a retirement race, but Young Racing's saying right now, I don't care. You're an old man. I'm going to show you what a veteran can do on this track. As Young Racing, that number 1 machine, getting it everything he's got, but you guess you could say that the seasoned veteran of no shift Pendle, keeping it all out there, and it looks like we're going to caution, folks. Not sure exactly what was happening there. Looks like Daz might have been involved in that one. Some damage on his machine. Looking around here, it looks like Rodfather and number 89 and the number 61 of Sparkalicious involved in that one. So 3 cars involved in it, and it was called via the game caution. So it looks like that we'll get a restart here, and we'll get it all set back up and ready to go here, folks. Slowly but surely getting everything all squared away. Looks like Rowdy actually got the better run off of that, so he'll get 2nd from Pottles, and Pottles will end up 3rd. We get number 1 of Young Racing will be up in the 4th spot, and 98 of No Shift Pendle will go up into that spot right there for 5th. Here we go, green flag high in the air. Who wants to win more? Who wants this championship more than anything? We're going to find out right now as we're on lap 58 of 100. Early on, battle for 2nd as Pendle and Pottles trying to defend off one another, as Rowdy as well right beside her trying to get around for that 2nd spot. Everybody doing everything they can to get that early bump, early draft, if you will. Not necessarily treating it like it's a green-white checkered restart, but they're definitely making it seem like all that matters is getting to the front, as they're just drafting one or finding each line. But the problem is, if you give up something or give up a line, you're not going to be able to get it back. And you can see in the back there, No Pit Pendle and No Shift Pendle is also getting a little bit of a rub there from Young Racing as those two are connecting out of turn 2. Look at this now, up in the 2nd spot. Rowdy and the number 2 machine is going to do battle with the number 5 machine of Pottles as they will come out of turn 4. It looks like they're dead even out of that start. Pendle and Young Racing still battle one another for 4th there. For 3rd and 4th, as those guys will finally straighten out and keep it going. But here comes Young Racing, that number 1 machine, now caught up to Hot Rod Rowdy.
McCarthy's car just turned so big getting into the turn, and you see it.
It really does indeed, Smoke. You can see the amount of control that she has over that thing and how she's rotating it in. Let's go on board here real quick and just show you guys what we're talking about exactly. Watch her as she comes into the groove of turn 3 and 4. We're going to show you how good she hits it. She's coming out of the bottom here, up in the high line of turn 2. That's where she really wants to be and hold it off. Now here's what she's going to do in turn 3 and 4. Up high, back off the gas, get it back down, down, down. trying to get the throttle rhythm up, feather it a little bit, then hit it harder than anything and hit it as hard as you can as you go down that front straightaway there. That is why one McCarthy right now is currently just absolutely pulling out such a great race on her end here. And now as we move back in forward more and more out of turn 3 and 4, everybody kind of pushing away from McCarthy, trying to necessarily probably get that draft to work back again and try to catch up to her. But Pendle is also trying to do a little bit of a battle with Young Racing, that #1 machine. He's just trying to find any which way he can to get up there and get around one another. But right now that's not necessarily doing the trick, as he is still falling into 5th. Oh, and as I say, that G-Pre and that #20 machine loose off exit 2 there, and that's going to definitely give him a bad run there, as he's now able to save it and bring it back, but nonetheless got really loose out of turn 2, saving it. Here we go though, up front, almost a 3-wide battle there for third, as Rowdy, Young Racing, and Pendle trying to figure out a line, but it looked like Rowdy got a little bit ahead more there than Young Racing, but Young Racing saying, I don't care about that, I'm going to catch you on this turn. Out of turn 2, Rowdy, ooh, a little bit loose off of that, managed to hang in there and keep it there, and Pottle's just trying to hold back all 3 of the boys right behind her. What an incredible race these guys are pulling off right now for this season championship, but the problem is they've only got about 36 laps to catch one McCarthy, and you can see the difference in how long she is getting ahead of these guys. She is pushing it right now.
Here's another big question: will we see green flag pit stops, or will we go green to the end and have to get the other way around?
Well, the thing is that these guys are going to have to run only about I think it's 28 laps on fuel, so they're going to have to pit. Laps. Yeah, there's too many laps that they can't make out, so they're going to have to at some point figure out when they're going to pit. You're right there, Smoke. If you were on the track right now and you had to pit, when do you think would be the best time to pit?
I'd definitely try to make whatever kind of run I had, cut it in half. Probably about the halfway mark. Maybe about 25 laps.
About 25 laps, all right. So we'll see if they take your advice there, or take your stance on that. But right now, back in the field here, Shift Pendle is now doing a big run here out of turn 4, trying to get around Young Racing, that #1 machine. But the problem is Young has that draft still from Rowdy, as he is now trying to make a move on for 3rd. The battle for 3rd and 4th is commencing here, as Rowdy and Pendle and Young Racing just going at it back and forth with one another. But it looks like Pendle is going to get a bit of a run here on the inside. Going to go down low out of turn 3, trying to make it sick this time. Can Racing bring it back down and get around? Looks like that's not going to come. Sliders for no Shift Pendle on Young Racing. Young Racing not able to outdo him there, and Pendle is going to take over 4th. He's slowly but surely making his way up into the field. These guys just continuing to go at it, as now the battle for 2nd commences. The #5 of the Pottles and the #2 of Hot Rod Rowdy going at it with one another, just trying to find a way around it. But Pottles ended up getting the better of the run out of turn 2, and she will now keep 2nd place all to herself. Everyone's staying clean, but yet at the same time pushing everything they can. But the problem is the more they keep fighting, the more that 23 machine is just going to keep running away from them.
Yeah, and all that battle has brought the #10 car into the picture as well.
It has indeed. Yeah, Hoppy and the #10 machine, he's actually been fighting some demons and some bugs as of late. Last night, or 2 nights ago, excuse me, he blew the motor at Kentucky. Now he said he came back in here with a whole new motor in the Xfinity series, and he's hoping that everything will stick to it and go well there, as now the battle for 2nd and 4th commences here, as No Shift Pendle and Young Racing doing battle, as well as Hot Rod Rowdy and the Pottles going at it out of turn 2, or excuse me, 4, and now going into turn 1, still side by side. Oh, a little bit loose out of turn 2, and now Pendle and Young Racing yet again getting into one another, and that's going to cost Pendle big time. Caution's going to be coming out for that one here, folks.
Heavy damage on the 98 there. The dog's okay on the side though. He made it.
Heavy damage indeed. That turn 2 curse yet again, getting Pendle and getting the other drivers, but looks like we're going to have a few pitting in this one. As you got to believe by now, they're probably thinking, well, don't have enough gas. Our tires are getting tore up, and we kind of need the gas more than anything, and we need our tires. So it'd probably be smart to go pit right about now, right?
Yeah, I would.
All right, so as we get everything back ready to go here, we want to say real quick thank you in the comments section, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you to everybody that has supported us through this Heat 4 series and all around. We appreciate the love and support. Thanks again to our sponsors, and yeah. All right, quick question in the booth here. Ashton saying, who is going to save their tires, and will anyone be bold to take 2 tires and splash only? Good question there, Naughty Milk Duds, but I'd say right about now, everyone's just trying to figure out what they're going to be trying to do, right? Which is figure out how the heck to get around the one domestic Texas McCarthy. Yeah, so, green flag high in the air.
Much anything right here.
I wouldn't if I was them, as we got a battle yet again. Hot Rod and Bottle's going to go one another out of turn 3 into 4. But remember, folks, McCarthy will just run away from them again if they're not careful. Pendle yet again trying to work his way from the outhouse to the White House. He's been pushing that thing from the rear I don't know how many times tonight, and it just seems to slow him down more and more. He's just trying, though, to not end this race without a victory. This is the last time we will see him, folks, just for the heads up there. As you can see, the battle commencing yet again. Rowdy just will not give an inch to Pottles, and Pottles will not give an inch to him. Here comes Rodfather, actually in 89 now. He's going to give it a battle here, as they were going almost 3 wide there with G3 and Young Racing. G3 also putting his name into the book. These guys continuing to fight on as this one commences here. We're down to the last 25 laps.
Young Racing really drove it in harder. They couldn't get the slider to work on Pottles.
Tried it indeed, but that's actually Rowdy in the number 2 that was trying to pull the slider there, my friend, as he's coming down low, into turn 3, into 4. Maybe indeed, like you said, try to get that slider to work. You can see the amount of room there is to make. Not very much, if you know what we mean. But right now, these guys just continuing to hold out and go for what it's worth. But Rowdy just can't quite find that gear to get around Pottles, and can't quite get the car to rotate enough to get the speed out of the exits. But looks like maybe he's going to get it here out of turn 2. Looks like a stronger exit for him, as he's now going to go do battle yet again. But Pottles continuing to not give an inch, holding each other back once again, as McCarthy is continuing to just push forward and get the race lead more in her favor. Oh, we got problems in the back there on the front straightaway there. We got 2 cars involved in that one. Hoffy in the number 10 and T. Jangles the 51, as well as a few others involved in that, and that's calling for the caution. And if I'm McCarthy right now, I'm just thinking, can you guys please not throw that caution out anymore? I'm trying to run away from these boys right now. This is just getting harder and harder in my mind for her to just figure out how to get around these guys and how to keep away. These cautions keep bringing them back together.
Oh, they're going to be in the fuel window now if they pit.
I believe their fuel window now will be just fine, actually, after this pit stop. So they will get the splash they need and the amount of tires they will need to finish this one out. So we'll see how everything goes out and around. But right now, these guys just, man, it's been a crazy race to say the least for some of these folks, as they just continue to fight on with all the pressure and the feeling they have. All right, guys, we're going to go green flag high in the air one more time. They're waiting for that restart here. And here we go. Who wants this more? Who wants to win? Who wants to win the final season championship in Heat 4? Pottles looks to get that run out of turn 1 going into 2, but it looks like she's not going to get any help from anyone besides Rowdy and Young Racing, as McCarthy still maintaining her lead and maintaining the dominance she has shown this entire race. We're down to the last 20 laps here, folks. My goodness, folks, everyone just continuing to fight on and fight strong. And look at this, G3 in the number 20 was getting up there a bit. Oh, and he's going to get loose out of turn 3 into 4, and it's going to cause a few into there. G3 spinning around the back. I'm not sure if they're going to call a caution on that. Caution not out yet, so it looks like they're going to keep him green. And here they come out of turn 2 indeed. It looks like Pendle and Racing trying to do battle one another. Pendle loose again off of turn 2. He just cannot seem to get that car to stick in that turn. It just continues to get him loose, but he has made his way back into the top 5. He is going to try and hopefully get that elusive win he's been looking for this final season championship. Oh, right on that back bumper of Young Racing, that number 1 machine. Here comes the 98 of No Shift. I will, for the life of me, never call him Pit Pendle. As they continue to throw sliders on one another, Racing was trying to get back out of that exit and get him there. Pendle now going to go down low out of turn 3 into 4. Look at this momentum and look at this positioning. He is carrying through this. Look at this, folks. Out of turn 4, we'll do battle for second. That crafty old veteran No Shift Pendle has just been an absolute force when he races every week out, every week in. And yet the fact that this is his last race, he just wants to make it something special. But remember, it's Pottles' last race as well. And if you can tell anything, those two have had wars in the past in this series and in these leagues. And the seasons they've had together, man, it has been an absolute war to the end here. And right now, Pendle looks like he's going to get a better slider off of turn 4 from Pottles.
She's got to look back to the inside of him. Check her own slots.
The slider indeed out of turn 2, trying to get it to stick. Not quite going to get those White Castles though out of the oven but they're going to stay side by side, and Pendle looks like he's got a better run. Pendle trying to protect that outside and inside line from everyone there as they're going to go into the 4-car draft here. As one, don't mess with Texas McCarthy, just continuing to just put the pedal to the metal and get away from one another as we're down to the last 15 laps here, folks. Well, we haven't said it earlier, Smoke, but if Pendle now finally can get away from these guys and get around everything, do you think he has a chance to finally catch McCarthy and not have to worry about the struggles of being in the back?
I don't think he can. He's always very consistent.
Oh, he's racing consistently indeed. And right now, these guys just trying to find one way around one another. Hot Rod Rally looks like he's going to be a little tight out of an entry into exit, as it looks like Young Racing making the move for that position there. He's going to get around him out of turn 2. And Rowdy getting a better run off the exit than Young Racing. So now the battle's still commencing for 4th there. But Pendle is trying everything he can to get around one McCarthy, but he's got a lot of time to make up. And as I say that, he's going to lose out of turn 4. Takes Pottles with him. Takes the Pottles, takes Rowdy and Young Racing with him there. He just overdrove it, and that is a big caution and a big wreck out of that insight there. Yeah, cars piling up on the front stretch.
I have my clipboard out there, and I was about to read the trends of the race. We usually see a caution here within the last 10 laps, and that's what we're looking at here.
It's what we're looking at indeed, but again, for Homestead, it's not too keen to see too many cautions, but right now that definitely was a caution needed to be coming out for those guys, as that was a huge wreck for Pendle, Pottles, and Rowdy and Young Racing. So the caution came out via the game in this case, so they will re-rack and restack them there, and we'll get everything all situated out. A lot of these guys are going to have to pit though and get cleaned up after that one. So here we go, folks. Back up into the front here. Young Racing getting the better pit stop off that. Pottles will get put in the back, as well as No Shift Pendle. Tough break for those guys, but right now they've got to have to find a way around quick and get up there quickly, because we're down to the last 10 laps. Green flag high in the air. Can one McCarthy finally end her season, end her Heat 4 career with the season championship speed she's been looking for? Or will Young Racing, one of our new drivers, finally get and achieve the win he's been looking for? But there are some drivers in the back getting really loose. Daz in the 18 managing to hold out, but losing a lot of ground. The number 1 of Young Racing trying to hold off McCarthy, but McCarthy has too much of a run. Here comes HD Nicer in the 39 now, pushing up. T. Jangles is loose in the back, as No Shift Pendle and Pottles trying to find a way around all that. Hot Rod Rowdy in that number 2 machine as well, trying to get around the traffic and trying to figure a way to the top. But right now, McCarthy continues to push on and push forward. As we're getting a little bit loose out of turn 4. We got big problems here yet again. Bottles and T-Jangles loose and spinning out in the backstretch. And the caution's going to come out yet again. Oh, this is looking more and more like a green-white checkered finish here, there, Smoke.
Yeah, it's getting looked that way. I'm not quite sure how many laps we got left here, but...
Well, I believe after this one, we're going to have about 5 or 6 laps remaining, if around that. But it's just continuing to get closer and closer to the end for these guys. It's just, I got to think that they're just overdriving the turns and overdriving when they shouldn't be, and it's costing them big time.
Sure, they know that fuse is lit and the bomb's about to blow and they got to go.
Absolutely, indeed. All right, guys. Well, we're going to re-rack, restack. Here we go, back onto the track. Oh, boy. Here we go. Looks like Pottle's going to get pushed back in the back as well as no shift again. T-Jangle's getting put back in there as well, and it's going to be another battle for McCarthy. Green flag, eye in the air. Will this be the last chance for these two and the other drivers to get this win? We're going to be down to the final 5 laps now off that restart. McCarthy yet again with the run. Daz a little bit loose out of turn 2 there. They're probably just trying to stay out of the way of Young Racing and not cost him there. Good driving on his end to stay out of trouble, but nonetheless, that definitely got him a little bit loose out of there. 3 wide in the turn 4. Here comes Pendle. He's now found his line and found a rhythm, trying to get ahead of one another. Using that draft, using that power, trying to get everything it's got to get to the top. And look at this, up front, McCarthy is challenged. The number 2 of Hot Rod Rowdy going to do battle for that lead. He gets a little bit of a better run off exit, is going to overtake for that. Daz in the 18 now, up in the high section, trying to get that big win as well. No shift pedal, looking for that last win of his career in the Heat Series with this league. Trying to find everything and anything he can to get this win and get this. We're down to the last 3 laps. A little bit loose out of turn 4, though. Oh, we got some pile-ups in the back here, folks. The parking lot starting to commence. These guys just going back at it. One another. We got big problems yet to get out turn 2. Pottle's involved in that one. G. Pre, the 39 of HD Nightster, and the 18 of, and the number 1 of Young Racing involved in it. Looks like the caution is not going to come out, though, folks. Oh, excuse me. It looks like no, it is not indeed. So it looks like it's going to be a battle to the end. And Pendle, he's made his way back up to the front now, taking the lead off of Hot Rod Rowdy in turn 1. Into turn 2, though, Rowdy looks to have the better run. We're down to the last 3 laps of this race. The season championship is on the line. McCarthy had the lead for most of this race, has now been lost by no shift Pendle. Pendle somehow, someway, has found a way to make it from the outhouse into the White House. Young Racing is going to put her into the pits. It looks like the car is unfortunately toast for this one. Oh, tough break for him. We're down to the last lap here, folks. Here they come. This is going to be a battle for the win, battle for the lead. Young Racing, Rowdy in the number 2, number 23 of McCarthy, and the number 98 of Pendle. Oh, no! Rowdy out of turn 2, taking McCarthy with him. Unfortunately, getting loose off of that. Pendle looks like he's going to finally get the run going here out of turn 3 into 4. The last time you'll ever see this man in the league with the Heat Series anyway, and it results in the championship win. Season 6 winner, no shift. Pendle puts it into PTM's victory lane here tonight, and what a race he had to get it. He had to start in the outhouse and get to the White House almost 3 or 4 times just to even get to where McCarthy was. McCarthy, the story with her was she was leading this entire race for most of it, and unfortunately those restarts and cautions cost her in the end. Hot Rod Rowdy managing to work off those cautions and get everything to go right his way. Unfortunately, did not quite get it off that last caution, and it ended up costing him big time.
Was she on old tires?
I believe she was on old tires. Yeah, she did not. I believe she was not pitted at any time during that last section of those cautions. And I could say, but out of all the drivers tonight, I'd say it's a little bit bittersweet for Pottles, as this again is her last race out here tonight with us in the Heat series. Don't worry, we will make sure she is with us in other series, so keep an eye out for that, folks. But unfortunately, finishing 7th in that one, a tough end for her career in the Heat series, to say the least. But nonetheless, it's been a great road and a great time for her, and we appreciate all the races and moments she has pulled on for us, as well as No Shit Pendle. But we'll get to him in just a minute here, folks. We're going to talk with our top 3 here tonight, and that was Pendle, Rowdy, and actually HD Nightster for the first time puts it on the podium in the PTM series. Congratulations to him. All right, guys, we're going to get everything all squared away and get it done here. All right, we got Rowdy in with us right now. Looks like we not going to quite get Pendle to do some burnouts for us, so we'll go ahead and take a look at his car here. But nonetheless, our second place finisher here tonight, Hot Rod Rowdy, and that number 2 machine, Rowdy. You look like you had everything figured out. You look like you had everything close to the end, and unfortunately, you just couldn't quite get the run you were looking for to get the win. What was going through your mind when you came out of turn 2 and unfortunately connected with McCarthy there?
Yeah, I mean, just going for the win. She came low on me, and I had to go high, and it just snapped around a little bit, and it's my bad for that. Just couldn't keep up with that 98.
Couldn't keep up indeed, but I mean, for the most of the race, we were saying that 23 of 1 McCarthy, you couldn't keep up with her, but it looked like just all of a sudden a changing of the guard had happened as you guys were battling in there for those last 10 laps, and it just seemed like maybe we're going to see a changing there, and it didn't happen. But nonetheless, you pulled off a great race and a great performance here tonight. Nothing to square at. We do hope to. Are you going to be able to run with us in the next Heat series for season 5 or 7?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be there.
All right, so Rowdy, once again, congratulations on a great season, and we hope finally we'll see you in that victory lane sometime soon, buddy.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 2, Hot Rod Rowdy in second place here tonight. All right, guys, coming up in first place tonight, so we'll go to third place first. Excuse me. I'll save you for last there, Pendle. HD Nightster, if you're with us right now, what a race you had tonight and finishing third. This is your first time in the podium. How did it feel to finally get around out of that last 20 laps there and actually get up with the leaders battling for that? Indeed, it was a little bit of a heartbreak for McCarthy, as we said earlier, but nonetheless, you definitely gave it quite the show and quite the battle to the end there. Nonetheless, man, you've definitely been one of the most improved drivers I've seen out on the field, whether it's been in the trucks or in the Xfinity series. So I know we'll see you in Heat 5 with Season 7, but nonetheless, man, congratulations on a podium finish, and I think it's good to see you here in the victory area for once, buddy. Well, guys, can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the last time we're ever going to say this. In first place, finishing out the season championship, it is No Shift. Do not ever for the life of him call him Pendle. That number 98 machine put it in victory lane here tonight, Pendle. Congratulations. I know you get tired of me saying that and probably laughing at me a few times, but this is bittersweet to say, man. This was the last one, but what a way to do it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I wasn't the fastest car. I struggled all night with loose off of the corners, and I was just doing my best to hang on. McCarthy definitely had the best car. She probably deserved it more than I did, but that last caution come out 5 to go. Nobody ever pitted, and I did. I got to pit, and then just fresh tires paid off here, and that's what got me the win. It is pretty bittersweet. I love every one of you guys here at PTM. I enjoyed calling this place home on Tuesday nights, but man, it's what a way to go out and win a championship. It's awesome. Can't really say much more about it other than thanks, Bottles, everybody at PTM for letting me race with you guys. I've had a blast, and I can't wait to see you all on the other side.
Absolutely, indeed. And what he's referring to the other side, we'll get to that in due time. But nonetheless, Pendle, I've just from the bottom of my heart, man, you're a pain in my ass to beat on any track, and you're one of the best drivers I've had to go up against. So I wish you nothing but the best, as I will be battling with you in another series sooner rather than later. But it's been a great time running with you, man, here. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. And always, you see me online, always send me an invite. I'll run in with you in any league, man. I don't mind. Good luck. I will say this, good luck to the rest of the guys. Good battling with you, Rowdy, there at the end. Good luck to everybody next season in PTM. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I gotta go. I got one more league race to run too, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Hop on out of here, Pendle. It was good. Have a great time, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, again, your Season 6 champion in the Xfinity Series. No shift, don't call him Pit, Pendle, and that number 98 Ford Mustang. Well, Smoke, man, what a race that was, and what an incredible finish to the end of the season, man.
Yeah, definitely a good race there.
A little bit crazy in the end, a little bit of hard racing towards the end of it, but nonetheless, that's what PTM's all about. It sucks we've had to see a few of those cautions kind of take out some of the likes of McCarthy and Bottles, and even I would say Young Racing as well, but
I definitely would say McCarthy was the car to beat.
She definitely was indeed, but unfortunately, staying out with those tires ended up costing her on that, and it looked like it was just not her night. But definitely, you'll see her and others in due time, folks. As we said before, we are running Wreckfest on our personal channels, but also iRacing soon enough will be another place PTM calls home in due time. We'll get you all squared away on that in due time. But to figure out where all this action and all the latest news of PTM comes from, be sure to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at Pedal to Metal Racing League, and follow us on Twitter at League PTM. Before we go as well, just want to say one more thing. Pretty much, this is kind of bittersweet to say, because in 2016, this driver right here drove the number 5 machine, and that is our old friend, the Pottles. This is definitely her last time we see her in the Heat series. We'll see her in many other series as well, but this is kind of bittersweet to say that we will be losing her next season in Season 7 as we go into Heat 5 territory. But we'll just say real quick from all of us at PTM, Bottles, thank you for everything you've done to bring this league together, bring everyone closer in many ways, and thank you for all that you've done. That means more to most people than you realize, and for that we salute you and thank you for everything. So we wish you nothing but the best, and we wish everybody nothing but the best, but it's just going to be a little bit weird not seeing you around on that track anymore, Bottles. So, alright guys, Season 6 is in the books, and in a couple weeks, once Heat 5 is out, once the drivers are prepared, once everything has been put together, you will see the best of the best yet again in at least 2 series here on PTM Racing's YouTube channel, as we will go live in just a couple weeks for the Cup and Xfinity series. We will see the best drivers and one another trying to challenge for that Season 7 championship in the Heat 5 Racing Series. From all of us here at PTM, thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you all in just a couple weeks on Heat 5.